Being real summary. Topic temperaments. This is session 3 of temperaments. We've been spending some time on this, and we'll continue to spend, another week or two, session or two, I should say, depending on when we meet on this. Very important, kind of a foundational thing for us to understand that, and more importantly, well, for us to understand ourselves and to understand others as well. Just a kind of a key relationship thing. Something that doesn't get talked about too much, and definitely not focused on. So we're spending some extra time on this and going through a workbook, which is, I said this, you heard that. I think that's right. Yeah. This here thing, I said this, you heard. Yeah, see that? I was right. So we're going through this this curriculum, and went through, talked about the strengths really quick, just reviewed the strengths and weaknesses, kind of what we had gone over. Someone came in that hadn't taken the test yet, gave them the test when they came in, and they kind of took that as we were going. And we got into the video session 3. And again, for these, we did like 1.25 speed, just to kind of speed it up a little bit. There were a couple spots that we had to slow down because some people speak faster, like in the videos, and I had to slow down because it's hard to understand. But we kind of tried to cheat a little bit there to get a little bit more time for discussion and, kind of shrink that empty space a little bit. So anyway, went through session 3. Session 3 was what words you need to hear. So kind of what fills you, some similar to that, based on your temperament and what you need to hear, and what are affirming things for you, those types of things. Watched the video, had some really good discussion about that. Went around the room, everybody contributed, and just had good stories and good things that that helped others kind of have an understanding of those needs. And then there's some definite aha moments, and like, oh, I'd never thought of that. The connection to the video and the people in the video. I mean, the videos are really good. There's a reason we're doing this. Videos are really good. Everybody could connect with somebody in the video, or a story that they told, and so that's what we kind of talked about. Again, I don't go into personal stuff here, but it was just a really good conversation, open conversation with everybody. Talked about those things and what helps us, and asked the questions that were in the book. And if you don't have the book, tell you the questions I asked, because I just went off of the book, which is nice because I don't usually do that. What are the reactions to the innate needs of your temperament? Because we talked about what your needs are, and then could you relate to examples in the in the video? Are you on full or empty? Now we didn't go into that because that's more of a personal thing, but it was a question and something that you have to just self-examine and then kind of figure out why you're empty or full or whatever the case may be. And there was a story about Terrence in the video where he talks about how his wife filled his need with words, like when he was looking to be a pastor. And it just then we ask, is there something that you remember in your life that was similar to his story, where somebody just kind of filled you up and got your back, I guess, affirmed you. So we talked about that. And then we asked, like, what insights do you have for others with your needs, like from a temperament standpoint? And then this is interesting too. Then it was like, what signals or message does culture say about some of your needs, or for some of your like temperaments and the needs of your temperaments? And that was interesting as well, because a lot of the needs that we have, society sometimes says don't do that. That's selfish, or that's this, or that's that, or whatever the case may be. And it really is a need, and it's, you think maybe it's selfish, but it's not necessarily selfish. It's more of that's just how things speak to you. So kind of splitting that a little bit and understanding, what the differences are based on society compared to like your temperament. And there are definitely conflicts there. One of the things that I mentioned, I'll say this, is that how my family, I know the kids took the test, and they go in their rooms and they're melancholic, they're blue. Both of them have that. They're mixed, but they both have that. And what happens in our house is everybody kind of goes in their own room because we're mostly blue. And to the outside world, that's wrong. Shouldn't do that, right? You have to talk as a family, and you have to do, which we do. Don't get me wrong, but we don't do it in the same way. And by the societal standards, and even I struggle with that, and I mentioned that in there. I struggle with the fact that we don't sit down and eat together, or there's certain things that we don't do that I have in my head that we should be doing as a family, but based on our temperaments, that wouldn't really fill us up or be good for us necessarily. Now, obviously, there's give and take there, but so I don't want to overstate that. But it is just an interesting thing is how we learn, how we go through as we're going through this. Sorry, going a little fast. As we're going through this, I'm realizing that need and comparing it when you look at like what culture says. Is it bothering me because it's really a problem, or is it bothering me because that's what people are telling me we should do, or outsiders say how we should do it? Because everybody's got their own thing. Relationships, all that stuff, they're dynamics that the outside world doesn't know, but they try to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. So that was interesting, kind of thinking about it that way as well. So we went through session 3, the session 3 video, had those discussions, and then took a brief pause, and then went right into session 4. Now the workbook has a lot more to it. You definitely, if you have the workbook, there are definitely more things that it walks you through, and it's definitely a more thorough thing, but it's more personal. So in the group, I'm not really going through that stuff. I'll go through, and if there's something that makes sense, I'll mention it to the group. But really, we're looking at the videos, having those discussions in a group session. And if you want to work through the workbook, get the workbook. There's a link on 122 under the Temperaments, under Being Real Temperaments. There's a link to the book, to Amazon. Buy the workbook. It's a really good workbook. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. So we're focusing on the group side of things. And just hitting highlights. But again, I think I said this in the last video, I'm not going to go through and copy this book or read it word for word or any of that stuff. I mean, there's a reason that it's paid for. People put a lot of work into that. I respect that. We're not pirating anything here. The videos are free, available free. Going through and asking the questions is kind of part of the guide in doing the videos for a leader. So it's like a small group side of things. The workbook's not necessary to go through small group. But it would be good if you want to walk through things more personally. And again, we're not going to divulge the stuff that's in the book. Spend the money, support them. No, they spend a lot of time doing it, if you want the workbook. All right, so we went into session 4, watched that video. That was a little bit shorter. And it's about when your needs aren't filled. How do you respond, or what are you like? And talked about how that goes to the negative side of your temperament. That's your innate reaction is not positive. So it's the negative side of it, and how you can help understand that if you're doing things like if you have tone, if you have tone and volume as a choleric, the red person. Red temperament, I should say, not person. If it's tone and volume, it's that. If you're a sanguine or yellow, it's flattery or charm, like you're trying to charm your way into something. Phlegmatics, like their defensive mechanism, I guess, is a way to say it too. Or the just initial reaction is to procrastinate or be more stubborn. And melancholics get moody or silent. So those are the triggers, or the things that when you're doing that yourself, can kind of say, oh, I am doing this because I am not in a good place, or because of my needs aren't being filled in other places. So this is me going to the negative side of my temperament, that kind of thing. So that was something that we talked about and went around the room and had to, oh yeah, I definitely do that, or this is something, oh, you know what, I never really realized that's not really this, it's probably because of that. So that was really good. And then we went through the discussion questions and talked about like manipulation and what do you think about that? And that word is we all manipulate in some way, shape, or form, whether we realize it or not. Talked about that. Asked, like, can you recognize it in others? And, discussion was a little bit less than this one because you're talking weaknesses and you're talking about things that you're like, no, I don't really want to admit that I manipulate. I don't really want to. No. Obviously, we still had good discussion, but it was just a little bit different than the other discussion. Rightfully so. We don't want to spend too much time in the bad or think about the bad, but it was good. And just about each person's like, yeah, I do that, and I need to be more aware of that and kind of correct course or whatever the case may be. So talked about that. So session 4 talked about those things. Kind of had a summary, and then got ready for the following week. The following week we will be doing the following session. We will be doing session 5 and 6. And if you weren't there, don't worry. Videos are online, which is the other reason that we're not walking through the workbook and going step by step, because we still want to do it in a way that if people miss or come in late or whatever, they still have the resources available. So the videos are out on 122.us. So you go to 122.us, Being Real, Temperaments, scroll down the page. You can see whatever you missed. I have summary videos from the first session, which was not this curriculum. Second session, which was the first time we used this curriculum. The third session, which is this one. And then, we'll do the fourth session as well. And the videos will be out there for you. They're free. You can watch them. You can think about the things when you watch the videos, write down different things, and you can pretty much get caught up. Now, you don't get the discussions that we had and the stories and stuff, but that's part of, Being Real is about getting in a room and talking in 3D face-to-face and having those conversations, and there's no way to put that on something like this. You don't get that same experience. So you did miss out on that, but you can get yourself up to speed enough and learn a ton by just watching the videos and learning from their experiences and how they present things. So make sure you do that if you missed. Watch 3 and 4 from this week, and then you'll be pretty much caught up, and we'll get into 5 and 6 next week, and that might be the end of the temperaments, and then we'll get into some other stuff, or maybe we'll I don't know. We're not sure. We're going to play it by ear. This week we got through 3 and 4. It went a little bit long, maybe. So we'll just we'll play it by ear. If it breaks into a couple more weeks of this, fine. If we get through it the next session, that's fine too. There's definitely some other things to talk about. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this gets you up to speed. Keep being real.